Hello. Today, let's talk about tools for effective communication. So, what we know in regards to communication with our stakeholders within education and what the world is used to is that mobile devices happen to be one of the fastest ways to communicate immediate change or important news. And so, what I have pulled up, according to Pew Research that was conducted last year in 2021, we find that about 85% of Americans have access to or own a smartphone. And so, when we look at the data here on this graph, we can see that there has been a drastic upcrease or increase, uptick in the handheld devices being readily available and used by Americans since 2002. So between 2002 and 2019, we see a gradual yet drastic increase in the attaining and using of smartphones. And so then with the use of smartphones, we then have the opportunity as educators to then use a couple of different applications on our phones to get mass information out as quickly and succinctly as possible and into as many hands as possible within the education world. And so the first app that I want to talk about that is actually great for this is the Remind app. And so my daughter, who currently attends preschool in Yakima, Washington, her teachers actually and the administrators are in the office use the Remind app, and it's great for us parents. And it's just right here on our phones. You just go and you click, and we have access to it. And so, what I want to show you today is the communication that I just got last week on Thursday in regards to a COVID outbreak. Not quite an outbreak, but they listed it as an outbreak there at the preschool. And so then her class has been canceled for Friday and Tuesday of this upcoming week. And so what's great about this app is that one, we have immediate one-way communication, but then also parents can respond back. And so then we have my response coming back to them in blue. And so then you can have this great two-way communication that Kowalski is always encouraging and emphasizing. And then we also have what I love about this app, another feature that I love about this app is that they can also send us just updates about how things are going there at the school. And I don't know if you got the newsletter, or you know what, because there's no school on Friday when we normally send home the newsletter, we're going to send the newsletter over here to you directly to your phone. And so at the very beginning of the school year, that's what was encouraged for every single parent, and we were reminded about it. Funny way to use it, right? Remind. So we were reminded about it every day that first week of school to download this app. And so because so many parents have access to a smartphone, they can then have access to that app and they can get that information out immediately. And if 85% of the world or America, and thus hopefully 85% of the school where you are working or I'm working as a stakeholder, we will then be able to reach 85% of those families. And that would be amazing. And then we figure out another way to get around that other 15%. And so another great application that I found for quick, effective communication is called Class Dojo. And it's an app that's very similar to Remind in terms of that we can have two-way communication. I can notify you about a school closure or a change in venue or a change in time for an activity. But also what's great about this app, and we're going to come back to that last slide, is that you can send data to families immediately. And so if they are tracking to see if their kid is attending classes the way they should, they will have the attendance taken within seconds or moments of the educator taking that attendance. And then you also have the opportunity to have, again, two-way communication where they can respond back to things that are happening within the school or things that have happened in the classroom or something that they want to get to the teacher right away. They can send that message. And so that's what's so great. The beautiful thing about the statistics with ClassDojo is that it tells us that 51 million students in the United States had ClassDojo in 2020, which was awesome because that's when the pandemic hit for COVID-19. And so then 1 in 6 elementary school families used ClassDojo every day. 1 in 6. And so if we could encourage our community to download ClassDojo, and then we're able to get to them quickly and succinctly with vital information, then we would all benefit and we would all sleep just a little bit easier knowing that we're all on the same page. And so we also know that it was number one in communication for apps for K through 8 teachers, children, and families globally. Number one, ClassDojo. And so we see that we have great two-way communication. And so as an educator and as a leader, I would encourage all families to have ClassDojo or Remind, depending on the demographic that we're working with and depending on how our community responds best to the two various apps, then we'd go with that. And then, of course, follow up with an email and also with uploading changes onto our school website.